Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... Doki Doki Literature Club. If there was one fandom that I would say was, very intrinsically tied and very formative to the early gacha community, I'd say it was Aphmau. If there was a second fandom I would say all those things about, it was Doki Doki. Particularly when it comes to, how Biju Mike went from Biju Mike to Gacha Mike, particularly, but, among other examples, of course. But, yeah, clearly. Which does kind of make sense because, it was something that started trending at the end of 2017 and bled into early 2018. And that was, when stuff was circling. And it seems like a lot of that circulation reached the artist formerly known as Starrytchi. Because, yes, the video title is, again, accurate to covering my bases. Because I think, this from what I can understand, this is the video that puts Starrytchi on the map for the first time. It's not the most popular video because there were some others that, got more circulation later. But I'm pretty sure that the first major, maybe not the first major boost happened here because I've seen the other videos and they're probably roughly about the same view count as they were as the other ones. But maybe that was because people went back to watch the old ones and they're stayed, or there was not much staying power from there. I don't actually know. But yeah, you say we all start somewhere, Ghosty. Technically, you are somewhat correct because this was for some time the first public video, the earliest public video that Starrytchi had kept before, of course, republishing all of the unlisted videos specifically so that we could watch them on Gacha Review. So had we started from the beginning, we would have ended up on this video regardless. And I think that's probably, an attempt to basically, do the dream technique of remove the previous videos that you had and then start and then, have it fresh from the ones that actually, had the virality to them, for lack of a better word. Fun fact, that is actually what Dream did. Allegedly, he had other videos beforehand from years prior, but then just removed them all and started fresh from the stuff that he did when, researching Reddit and all of that. The more you know, I guess. So yeah, I guess we're going to make an exception today to what I normally do, or I occasionally make exceptions, but we're going to make another one today because we're going to just cover a song that is by a YouTuber, so there's a chance of not being copyrighted. But you never know. It's by Random Encounters called Just Monica, and it's very similar to a song that has already been referenced here, and also apparently is fully copyrighted. So there you go. But anyway, I've in fairness to Starrytchi, and also because again, this kind of exists in isolation, I didn't want to pair it up with any other videos. So never mind all that. We're gonna make an exception today. This might be the shortest Gacha review of all time, but we'll see if that's the case. I did watch the original music video right before this, so I can definitely compare it to some extent. First thing I'll say about the original music video is that, for the most part, with the exception of, just me, because I have no guests today, so we'll be quite short, probably. The first thing I'll say is that, aside from, the final scene, it's all taking place inside of one area, which is meant to symbolize the Literature Club itself. And it's all staged accordingly from there. I don't know if that will translate into here, but considering there was only one setting and it's easier to recapture that in Gacha, I don't know. We'll find out. So without further ado, on with the review. Yeah, be sure to, cover bases of who these people are. I guess because it was early days, so why not? Okay, so the first thing I'll say, in this part in the original video, is when is when they're like pulling the protagonist inside, and that is kind of what's happening. Unfortunately, this is before Gacha Club, so we don't have the narrator text that would have recaptured the captions that they had, as in like trying to replicate the gaming text, except with black text. I'm pretty sure it's white text in the game, but anyway. So yeah, we don't have that this time. So I guess we're not in the realms of custom captions to recapture that. Instead, we're gonna have the speech bubbles, which okay, all right then, fair enough. I don't think I didn't mention actually is a nice attempt there to cover up the Kai Master logo with your own personal logo. That almost worked.
Will improve your uptake. Have a freaking cupcake. And must you bring a boy?
Yeah, I guess because it's not, it was staged in live action. I should have mentioned that before, but yeah, staged in live action. So they're not all like in a bus queue. So that's the first thing. If you like rearrange them a little bit, you can actually have Natsuki appear like behind and then like talk to Sayori on the other side. Or just simply put Yuri on the end because she's shy enough to not be like right in the character's face at the moment. Would have made sense in character as well.
Time to write some poems. Don't be scared to show them. The festival stays away. You could help with baking or with banner making, and I'll walk home alone today. Maybe we're friends, maybe we're more. How can he love a simple girl next door? I'm just not the type he's looking for.
Yeah, this is where they were usually in the background. So, okay, fine. We are staying in the same room, but I guess we're doing the Slaughter Apocalypse approach of characters ceasing to exist occasionally. Okay.
Sayori, you doing okay? I'm having a difficult day. I'd say you seem pretty lonely.
The redhead boy sticks out so much he's put him in uniform. That is a good point, because, they were all in costume. In the original video, and I don't see why you wouldn't put the protagonist in the uniform. I mean, I'll say, you do have to do the custom art approach, basically, of what happened with, the Stupendium, of them putting themselves in, the in the uniform or the equivalent of what the male version might be perceived to be. But yeah, like at least something. I guess maybe because there was no like actual canon reference. Maybe that was why. I don't know.
I wish I could make her grin. All she wants are things back the way they've been.
She's depressed and stressed and she's feeling blue, so I don't want Sayori hanging around you.
Okay, so now we get something custom. Because yeah, in the obviously the hanging scene in the Doki Doki takes place in series. Well, it takes place off screen, but she's found in a house. But yeah, in the video they do have it here, and Monica's the one who actually pulls the noose. So yeah, I guess this is the equivalent of that, and having a little bit of paint manipulation from there. So at least there's something.
Just Monica, just Monica, just Monica, just.
Oh, we do get a look from mostly a back view. Oh, I didn't realize that. Fair enough.
Monica, just Monica, just Monica.
Okay, this I appreciate. Just putting just Monica's many times as they actually sing. I'm guessing as to why it's on screen, or maybe that's because that was the maximum text allowed. One or the other.
Just Monica, just Monica.
I forget if Monica herself was singing just Monica or not, because you seem to be almost doing it here. I don't know. Also, this is where, much like the Stupendium song, actually, they reset and like come in again, obviously without Sayori this time. So I guess because they didn't have the scene where they like enter through the door, they can't really recreate that, and they're just posing here for when the main character comes in.
Manga is my passion. Don't you dare be fashion. The writing's got finesse.
Wait, hold on. There's a part missing, I think. Wasn't there? Oh, okay. Yes, there is a part missing. So maybe this was like taken from like Spotify or like a different version of the song, because in the music video there's a bit where they actually talk and they say, you know, for example, like, you know, where's Sayori? Who? There's no one here by that name. And they have like a dialogue before Natsuki comes in and says that. So I guess that just didn't happen this time. The song kind of feels barren without that. I'm pretty sure, because why? The protagonist is meant to notice that Sayori is not there. That's like part of like that's where the horror aspect comes in from the game. You know, from the player knowing that something has happened, and the dramatic irony of the characters not being able to acknowledge it, because why would they? But here, the protagonist is like, "Ooh, manga, cool." It doesn't quite read the same way.
Maybe you should borrow these until tomorrow. Were you looking up my dress?
Oh, never mind. It wasn't, ooh, manga. It was, ooh, panties, I guess. Or I don't know, whatever.
Let's go read a story.
What about Sayori?
Let's talk about me.
Okay, that's also different. In the music video, the word Sayori is always corrupted every time he tries to say it, including that part of the song, even when it rhymes. So that's different. So yeah, this is some other version of the song that was acquired elsewhere.
Instead, I've been learning piano and I sing soprano, and I can't get you out of my head. Can't look away, can't have a blush.
Trust me, if singing soprano was, you know, a brag that worked on people, I would have dated so many people in college.
Where did I get this overwhelming crush? It's sharp as a knife and twice the rush. Yo, there's something I think you should know. I've never seen Yuri so sane and chill.
Yeah, again, the music video, she appears when she says sane, and she just like emerges, not like seconds before.
Still kind of sweaty, and I don't mind cutting to the chase. I'm in love with you and your gorgeous face. That's a sentiment I can't allow.
Okay, so yeah, classic early gacha era here of like Monica just like walking over like neutrally. I feel like if we're gonna see her in this moment, because again with live action one, the camera's panning between everyone, so that you could have her off screen until the moment which is like, I'm going to interrupt this scene, you know, that kind of thing. So but because it's all, you know, it's all like one static shot. You actually like say like it's not Sayori, jeez. They're dead. Monica needs to actually be like emoting, like reacting to what's happening with Yuri, like some sort of like, you know, like outrage of some kind. You know, I would even take the happy face with the faded shadow that's meant to imply insanity or intense anger, or, you know, actual anger preferably, but yeah, something along those lines. And then she puts on the charm as soon as she enters at this point. That's only if you're going to have her, because, I mean, clearly Natsuki has also disappeared for this scene, so, you know, just have her in the wings until you need her, otherwise.
So my dear friend Yuri, it's getting the point now. Just Monica, just Monica.
Remember Monica stealing Yuri's knife in the original music video? Yes, she does steal it, and then guessing the point is when she stabs her. Yes, that does happen.
Just Monica, just Monica, just Monica, just Monica.
Like how Yuri is still singing on the floor, like she's bleeding out, but she's just going, just Monica, just Monica. Message written in blood, just Monica.
Just Monica, just Monica. Could you have guessed? Maybe you knew. Natsuki is next. I'm deleting her too. We don't need cups.
Yeah, in the music video, like her clothes just fall down. I guess that was impossible in gacha. But yeah, it just kind of just gets. That does happen to her in the game, doesn't it? Really, just there's no like ultimate moment where it's where like she does something out of the ordinary. Well, out of the ordinary, she does something out of the ordinary, but not like out of order for Monica. But yeah, never mind that.
Cakes or poems or tea. I only need you to love me. Hey, there's no one else in our way. So look at me and just say, right here, my dear.
Okay, so yeah, again, we've cut out the part where, you know, he exits the game, because now that's what's supposed to have happened. He's meant to have exited the game in the music video, and this is his bedroom. That's why this scene changed.
That you love me.
And oh wait, no, hold on. Another thing was he was about to like delete the game, and then suddenly, Monica makes a point about Verve, and maybe that's why, because it was a sponsored video. Um, but like then he like turns around and sees her, and she's like in his room, compared to what happens in the actual game, where she just teleports you to a different location in the game. So that's where like the biggest shock comes from, is again seeing her for the first time in the room. So the fact there's no pause in this version of the song is to its detriment.
And we'll sit here till the end of time, 'cause I've earned this and you're finally mine. And I'm sorry what you had to see, but it no longer matters, 'cause now you belong to me. Just Monica, just Monica, just Monica, just Monica.
Yeah, like she sings forever at this part, and then, I guess the chorus in the background of Ghosts. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the donation. In the DMs is an image from the game and concept art from the developer. We go to the Pro Tycoon. Gave us more concept art. I see. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't counting concept art when I said that. I didn't think about that. Oh, yeah, no, I do remember the hug from the actual game. Okay. Because it's such a short amount of time, I'll just I'll make another exception. I'll show some images here. And yeah, that actually does look a lot like the version that the Stupendium made for themselves. All right. A good sport. The images I shall import. It's a conceptual resort to show the folks what the protagonist looks like. That was terrible. Anyway, here we go. First image. That's from the actual game. I forgot about that one. This one is the one that I have never seen, and hopefully it will actually load. It did. Oh, I forgot. I actually did make room for some stuff. So yeah, here's the other one. This is the concept art, I suppose. So yeah. Honestly, to some degree, it makes sense that we never actually see him properly in the game because, of course, self-insert in a lot of dating sims, you don't see the main protagonist because the main protagonist is you. That's what you're not supposed to. But yeah. Into this video, Monica grabs the guy's face to add to the creepiness. Yes, that's true. And I like pins to the chair. That's one thing you could do in Gacha Life, actually, especially because I mentioned yesterday with the whole running with you situation, how Aiden was more able to imply strangulation, just like move up the arms, and that's all you need. Easier than a hug. And yeah, she was right in his face when he said forever, because they were trying to fight over the mouse to delete the file or not. And yeah, here we are. That's what happens in the game. Yep. Oh, okay. So another thing that happens in the music video and not here, I guess, is the line where Sayori says walking home alone. Yeah, they call back to it. Because she asks who are you walking home with anyone, and then main character says just my friend Sayori, and then she starts going just Sayori. So I wonder if they cut that all out, because there's still a few seconds left of video, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do any of the dialogue scene, so that callback might not actually happen. Yep, just instrumental right now. Circle yes, delete the file. Okay, we haven't got deleting yet, so that's why.
Just Sayori.
Yep, there we go. That's why, because there's usually the build up to something happening, because Sayori is now president, and that's another thing they mentioned. But okay. Oh, as it comes out of nowhere. Yeah, so I've learned two things today. One is that if I want to listen to this song again at any point, to absolutely have the music video version, because it just has parts missing. And the second thing is kind of reminds me of like another thing that I've thought about because I've made a total of 6 gacha music videos, or no, 7. Sorry, I've made 7 gacha music videos. 2 of which are my own lyrics, so I won't count those. So if you consider the other 5, um, 4 of which are by Danny Gonzalez, actually. Partly the reason I chose those songs is because I was able to, like, glean a story from them, which is essentially what happens here. These kind of songs, like, they walk you through the actual experience, of the game or the thing that they're adapting. And that makes it easier to create something like musical that actually flows from them, like an actual like story from the music, because that's what happened with a lot of like gacha music videos back in the day, was that they had to get like very abstract because the lyrics of the songs that were adapting were quite abstract. Sometimes it wouldn't match what if they set up a story beforehand, it wouldn't work. Other times it was dark side, so everyone did the same story because that one had already been like tried and tested to match. But yeah, videos like these are my favorite kind of gacha music videos on paper. What let this one down partly is the same thing that when I talk about like the Tom Scar sketch adaptations that we've seen sometimes, is partly because like they use the camera and the medium as part of a way to like enhance either in that case the comedy, or in this case the music and the story. So not being able to do that, or not being at the stage of using camera angles yet, was to this video's detriment. But the main thing was just the song itself. It's because by picking the non-music video version of this song, you're missing out on a lot of the details that are in said music video and like just make part of the story of the song in the first place. So really the best aspect of this is undercut by the very thing it's adapting, which is quite unfortunate. Clearly, people back in the day didn't seem to mind all that much, and for all intents and purposes, this is definitely as of from what we've seen so far, probably the most structured video that the artist formerly known as Harry the Cat had made up until this point. So as far as all starting somewhere, yes, we all start somewhere. This is by no means the actual beginning. I'm so glad that they unlisted he unlisted the actual other videos before this point. And actually, I got to see like the full version, because now I get to say, yeah, we have actually progressed to some degree, and yeah, and there's a very clear path ahead, and fortunately at this point, an audience to actually latch onto it. So from this video onwards, actually, things appear to be looking up for Starrytchi, which is fantastic, because next time we've got the earliest formerly public series, or the formerly earliest public series. I should have phrased that sentence differently. And we'll get to see what that one is about next time. I believe it's called Apocalyptic World. So, it's that one. That one's either going to be promising, or it's going to end a few other things. You never know. Let's see, he's flying. Burn the witch. Exactly. All right, and also William, hi, you joined right at the end here. I guess you missed the craziness, but then again, we know the story of Doki Doki anyway, so I guess maybe for that reason it also kind of worked out. Everyone knew the parts that were missing, or could at least structurally glean what was going on, which is really funny because Doki Doki, like the age rating of it, does not correspond with its fan base, but that happens a lot of the time with stuff, especially horror games. So yeah, that happens. Let's see one of my stories in a bit. It's called Plot Hole. It's about a girl named Lucinda. Lucinda! Who wakes up one day to find out her friend is missing, and she is the new protagonist. And no one remembers her friend except her. That's fantastic. Did you ever actually make anything out of that? And if so, please send it to me. I'm really curious. But yeah, I love that. There's actually a part of the Chronicles of Narnia that's a little bit like that. At least in one of the movies. I've watched more movies than I have read books. From As I haven't finished them all. But yeah, at least in one of the movies, I forget which one, there's a scene where Lucy wishes to be the wishes that she were her sister, which means that she then inhabits the body of her sister. They never discovered Narnia because it was her in the first place. She never existed, and there's just like it's just like a bit of a hypothetical moment. So to acknowledge that and like grow from the jealousy that she'd experienced before, basically. But yeah, beyond that, I don't know. That I was actually inspired by that segment too. I was going to do a thing where it wasn't someone's best friend, it was their worst enemy, like inhabiting like in their shoes, basically, and then also erase themselves. I was going to do that as my first ever Gacha Club series, back when Gacha Club first came out. But because I was so intent on everything being part of the Butterverse, I didn't want to have a show that actually had an erased continuity, meaning that there were two separate timelines. So I stuck with the Mutant Girl as the first, as they're going through Gacha Club. So there you go. A little bit of fun history there, I suppose. I feel like I did make a concept video for that at some point. It's like it looking in my unlisted. Maybe. I'm not sure. Might talk about it some other day. There's not much to really talk about, I guess. That was it, really. So yeah. Gonna use like some of the most of the new backgrounds and do all that stuff. Basically what I did with People Above, where it's like take advantage of like whatever the next game had to offer. So yeah, you know what? I'll leave it to you. Plot hole is definitely an interesting word for sure. So yeah, I'm absolutely curious about that one. And also about the story about the elements. I've been talking to Prism about that. Something might be happening. No promises, but there might. I don't know. But for now, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell. Just Jake.